This weekend, we had the Gundam Bristol Regionals. It was the first ever Regionals that I've ever experienced. My team, Team Strike, went to Regionals together for the first time, and lo and behold, our boy got top 4. Now, before we start, I am going to have a vlog of the experience coming out, as well as a video going through the entire deck list match breakdowns with Alex, who got top 4. That will be coming out after this video. But what I want to do is go through the top 16 decks. This is actually quite an experience seeing my boy's deck on here and kind of just talk about the things that were seen and some of the ideas behind the deck as well. Because believe it or not, it was not Blurple and there was a lot of that. So as we can see here, there was a lot of Blurple. Top 16, we had 8 Blurple, which I actually believe was more than Dusseldorf by 1. 4 red, white Provies, 2 blue, red Banshee controls, 1 blue, white the O blockers, and 1 blue, white Unicorn blockers. So just from looking at this, I mean, there is a lot of red, which I just feel is maybe like a direct counter to blue, purple. And what was interesting about this is this was the first regionals since the Corsica base restriction. So it was really interesting going into this event, because when we're preparing for it, we don't really know how much of a big deal it is. How much is it going to affect the community and what changes will be made? And I'm going to talk about it in another video, but I felt like Blurple was everywhere. My matchups, oh my God, we'll talk about that. But also, again, sadly, no green making it into the top cut again, just like Dusseldorf. So I can already see there's quite a lot of contention in the community saying that the ban, the restrictions were not enough. Yeah. So we got Zangetsu's Providence build here as well. What's really interesting about this is the Gue's custom commander type here as well. This is a really good card. I think the reason why I like this, sometimes it can feel when you're playing Raul Le Creuset that you're waiting a lifetime for him to become active, because his Providence is obviously level 7. So this is a really nice thing, you know, makes it a 6/4 with 2 types of support. Really awesome. But we also got the inclusion of the brand new Freedom as well. This is a really cool card. This is a really cool card, because also you got to think about it. There's a good chance you're going to have a friendly base in play, because Raul is always going to be able to bring those bad boys back when linked. So really cool deck here. Aegis Gundam. This is such a nice card when you're punching upwards as well. And obviously we got the Justice, probably the single best value card in the game. We then have Zaf 1, which is quite a similar build here, but we've actually got the inclusion of the Omega Saikamu here as well. This is just such an insane card. It's just a threat, because not only is it doing damage, but now you have to try and get rid of it immediately because of that suppression there. Only 2 improved techniques. Interesting, because obviously we're now not going to see the benefit of the additional links when it's in trash. But to be fair, there's a lot here with the inclusion of Sword Strike as well, because if you're expecting aggro, you want to see this. So congratulations to those players. We then have Ventus Cross's Unicorn blockers here as well. Again, the inclusion of the Sword Strike, the full armor Unicorn Gundam as well. This on curve is busted. I mean, it's becoming a 7/6 on turn 5. That I don't even know how you deal with that. We've also got the Perfect Strike as well, which is just such a nice inclusion as well, especially if we are dealing with tokens now with white base just being everywhere. We've also got the inclusion of the new Freedom as well, as a 2-of. Freedom Gundam, of course, the classic, and then we have the absolute behemoth of full armor Unicorn Destroy mode. So this is really cool. And obviously, if you guys have been watching the channel, Mula Flaga, if you are playing white, I think you want to be running this. Obviously, this is great because we can throw it into Sword Strike, and then we're saving Kira's for those L strikes for Freedom. Kusanagi, this is a really big card. We're going to be talking about this later on when we talk about Alex's deck in particular, but especially in this format that we're in right now, this is absolutely crucial. Then we have a plethora of Barbie decks. I'm not going to go into them because they are typically the same. We will talk about Peter's deck, because Peter did play Alex in the top cut, and what I've noticed is actually a real change lately when it comes to this deck is the inclusion of 4 Show of Resolve. Now, typically people beforehand didn't think that this was a great idea, because, you know, it can feel like a brick in hand early on, especially with resources. You want to be getting out as much as possible. But what this actually does is it allows you to reload once you have gassed out. You will see this more, and that is actually where the big push comes, because sometimes once an opponent stabilizes against Blurple, you're now playing top draws and you've got nothing. Anything that you start just top drawing, you cannot compete with a deck that can just bring out bigger bodies. So you need to keep going wide. This will help you do that. Really big inclusion as well. Yeah. I'm going to talk about White Mamba's Banshee control deck as well. Really, really cool deck. You know, obviously we're trying to control with those commands with the Battle of Aces, the improved techniques, close combats, because our first unit level starts at level 4. However, if you're expecting to go up against Blurple, you just need to see these in hand, because once you start getting these units out, it is a big trouble for your opponents, especially when we start seeing Kshatriya. We're also using the Healthy Curiosity for Show of Resolves. This is crucial. We need to be able to just have as much as possible, just burning. And we're also filling up the trash for Banshee to come down. The most terrifying card probably you can see on curve. I mean, this is just insane, because not only is it getting first strike ×2, but it's getting the Merida ping off every time as well. We've also got the new GDO free Kshatriya as well. This is great just again for drawing one, but repairing. Well, this is really nice into aggro. And then obviously we've got the big boss monster as well for that suppression catch-up mechanic as well. And then obviously we got the Guardan, I think is how we're saying it. Again, a great card just to mill draw with feeding our Banshee as well. So yeah, this is a great deck. We've also got Oriel's Providence one. Again, this is quite similar to deck than we saw earlier on as well, but obviously in the top 8. Lower blockers and more Aegis, but we're just trying to see that sword strike. And then quite similar again here with Dovi's deck as well. Then we have Dire Shift's top 8 Blurple deck as well. Again, for Show of Resolves, we need this, but we're capping out here at the level 4 as well, but we've got maximum ping here as well. Also, shout outs to him, such a nice guy. Inclusion of the white base, and just absolutely went to war. So this was, when it comes to like Blurple decks, this is about as optimized as you can get. Then we have Just Joe's deck of the Banshee control, which is different because we've actually got pingers in here with Gun Tank and Anksha as well. Really interesting take on this deck. One that I actually think is quite cool, because if you are playing against Blurple and they're pinging themselves, this is kind of cool. Now the issue is, if you don't have bodies down, sometimes they can't ping themselves. So sometimes you might not be able to get the pings off from the gun tanks unless you already have a body. But sometimes this can be something that you start using, not necessarily early game, but later on as well. Then we need to talk about my boy Alex with the O. This is such a proud moment for all of us. I mean, this has been something that we've been working on for so long. I mean, stuff that we've just been tracking as well, originally starting off with a different type of deck. And it's so funny because a few months ago, this was actually starting out as a kind of Sarah-esque build with the Jupiter's package, but it's kind of like morphed into this thing now, which is absolutely so beautiful. And in a meta where it is predominantly Blurple and aggro right now, this is a really risky and confident build though. We are not throwing Zoorts in here. We don't even have a Sword Strike in here. And it was also kind of tough to make a build when you know that we don't know what the actual meta for Bristol is going to be. But Alex was so confident with this deck that I think in the end it was always going to be this deck. But one of the most awesome inclusions is the Bolinoak. This card I think is unbelievable. It's gone under the radar, but the way that this card gets utilized, when utilized properly, is unreal. Throwing Kira underneath in this, activating the repair 2, now it's becoming a 5/4, and if you are playing against aggro decks, you're essentially eating for free. It's also another target for Paptimus as well. Sometimes we need to go, okay, we might not actually get to the point where we're even going to see the O, because this deck we're playing against is so aggro that we can throw Paptimus underneath this as well. One of the big things that Alex was an advocate of is Perfect Strike Gundam as well, and it's absolutely so good, because you got to think about it. The level 5/3 stat line is so crucial, because when we are at this point, we need to be able to develop board. That 5/3 stat line will allow you to play Perfect Strike Gundam and a blocker in the same turn. That is insane, especially in games where you are clawing it back to try and establish board. Perfect Strike Gundam often goes under the radar, but also because if we're playing against a meta where there's a lot of white base being used, if they've developed board and they are putting out 1/1s, this is going to get rid of that as well. So not only are we clearing board, but also developing. Another thing that Alex was really big on was Kusanagi, and he went 4 off, and it is so crucial because this is such a great tempo and momentum shifter, because that level 4, yes, it will put a lot of people off, but this is essentially a built-in Mula Flaga, only 2 costs, but you're also getting draw out of it and bouncing. Mula Flaga is a card that we've all been a big fan of and been trying to run, but what this does essentially is optimizes it in a way where we're actually getting draw out of it and bouncing. HP being 4 is obviously a point of contention for a lot of people, but if we're focusing on aggro, that's still going to be mainly 2 hits. we have blockers for bigger things. And if you're worried about larger games like other white teams or blue or anything like that, whether this was 4 or 5, they're likely clearing that base in one hit regardless. So if we're focusing on aggro, this is important. I'm so incredibly proud of what he achieved, because his top matchups in the top cut were a best of 3 against Blurple and then a best of 3 against a blue red, and he won those, which is just shouts to him. We are going to have a video with him going through the deck, going through his matchups. We made sure that it was a really kind of in-depth video, a long form video as well, because often you don't see that sort of thing on YouTube. We don't want to just put a deck list out. I really wanted you guys to hear him in the way that he thinks, the combinations, examples of play, especially in a deck that doesn't get a lot of representation at the top level. So as a team, we're so proud of him. We can't wait to see him in the area finals as well. So here we have Dave's second place one. We actually have a lot of low in here. This is a lot, but you can see why, because we only run 2 bases and we just want more units. So this is just overwhelming. But again, with the 4 show of resolves, really important, because if you even think about it, you have all of these units and we're still going to be reloading. So congratulations to Dave for coming second. And then we have Christian's final winning card deck. What I really like about this is the inclusion of the rebakes here as well, and the NT1. So not only do we have the 3 grandpa guns, we've got another 2 for armor to be piloted onto. Rebake is such an insane, when you're going into the mirror, that's going to be crucial, absolutely crucial. 2 show of results, but we do have a lot of units here as well, and white base. White base has been a problem for a lot of people because it just generates and generates and generates. Super optimized deck, obviously incredibly piloted, so well done there. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of conversation about Blurple. We'll also be talking about it in the video where I go through all of my stuff, because I played a ridiculous amount. I think probably more than any other player at the tournament. I would not be surprised. Regardless, yes, there was 50%, but we did see some really cool decks in that top 16. And in the top 4 as well. So we will take that. Let me know your thoughts. Did you go to Bristol? Do you have regionals coming up? What are you taking? What do you think of Alex's O deck as well? And make sure that you stick around and check out the videos that I have coming out with Alex going through his deck, but also my entire Bristol regionals vlog as well. You might see some familiar faces as well. Guys, see you in the next one. Thanks.